Roses are red and violets are blue. Welcome to the National Holiday Podcast, episode 2. Thank you, Peter, for that wonderful theme song. You can tell that here at NHP we have a really high budget, which is why you can still hear the notes being pressed over top of the actual noises made by the notes. Oh, it's great. We'll work on that. We'll get something official eventually. But that's right. It is National Poetry Day here on the National Holiday Podcast. I am your host, Noah Mandow, and just like that beautiful poem that I just read for you, there will be several throughout the podcast. Unlike yesterday, where there were only 4 holidays to mention, today there is 11. So I think we're going to jump right in. So first off, we have National Poetry Day, celebrated in the UK. I guess other countries don't really write poems. The first thing it says here is, as children, one of the first poems we learn starts out, roses are red, violets are blue. And that's funny because I didn't see that before recording the intro to this poem or podcast. Yeah, poetry causes us to pause and bask in the beauty of language. National Poetry Day occurs annually in the UK and Ireland, so I don't know why that wasn't mentioned, on a Thursday in late September or early October. This year's events are set for October 1st and focus on the theme of change. Admittedly, poetry is different things to different people. It can be whimsical or angry, sensitive or quiet. Most of all, poetry is most effective when read out loud for others to share. Looking at some events, Beowulf makes literary history with almost 3,200 alternative lines back in the 1000s. Well, that's a long time ago. National Poetry Day was created in 1994. I don't know why Beowulf, amongst a couple others, are then mentioned, if they were before National Poetry Day existed, because they probably did not happen on this exact day. But, you know, that's just how it is. 2009, first female UK poet laureate appointed? Wait, is laureate her? No, her name is Carol Ann Duffy, and she is an openly gay poet laureate, which I don't actually know what that word means, but because this is an informative podcast, we are going to look it up. So the word is for a person who is honored with an award for outstanding creative or intellectual achievement. So, I assume she wrote some good poems, some of which are titled Anne Hathaway, Elvis's twin sister, nice, and Havisham, which costs $9 on thriftbooks.com. Nice. Next, we have International Coffee Day. Coffee has been around for more than 600 years. Wow. Or rather, I guess we've been drinking it. It probably existed in bean form for much longer than that. We now also have candies, medicine, and it was also used as currency in ancient civilizations. I believe that was the Mayans. We'll go with that. The site says coffee can energize you, warm you up, refresh you, keep you awake, and even catch you up with your loved ones. Yeah, so that's coffee. We're already over the 3-minute mark, and we have 9 more to go, along with Celeb Birthdays. So I don't know how long we can stand on coffee for, but apparently Mecca banned coffee because it was believed to stimulate radical thinking and idleness. And the largest cup of coffee was 3,487 gallons, according to the 2012 Guinness World Records. It doesn't say where this record was placed, though, but yeah. In Milan, the International Coffee Organization set the holiday on October 1st as part of their 2015 Expo. So, there you go. The next holiday we have is National Homemade Cookies Day. So for this one, I have a quick acrostic poem. I was about to say acoustic, but no. Alas, I am not playing any music here. It is just an acrostic poem. Cookies, ookies, ookies, cook, ease. There we go. That is my acrostic poem on cookies. You're welcome. So apparently the average person consumes almost 19,000 cookies in their lifetime. I think I'm far over that limit. If we say that I've only been eating cookies for the last 15 years and roughly eat about 2 a day, which I think is pretty fair, seeing as some days I eat a good dozen cookies. I've already eaten almost 11,000 cookies, and I'm almost 22. I've still got a lot of life ahead of me. But perhaps once my metabolism stops working, it'll all even out and I will eat no more cookies. Um, Apparently, there is no special news about cookies this day. It just gives some ideas of how to enjoy cookies or make cookies. Um, Move over, Martha Stewart. It's time to get creative. What? I don't get the reference. Did she make homemade cookies? Um, I don't know. When I googled her, the result for Martha Stewart pancakes showed up before cookies, so I guess she does a lot of baking. And Google also has a picture of her with Snoop Dogg, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we have World Vegetarian Day. I would just like to point out the fact that all of the little activities are really pushing the vegetarian agenda. I mean, it does say that it's good for the environment and it's good for your body, which is true, but the next point says that vegetarian food can be delicious. Um, it says meatless diets get a bad rap for being bland and tasteless, but that's not always true. Uh, I don't know, this is weird. It says veggie-based pancakes, which I like. I think pancakes are already vegetarian. Correct me if I'm wrong, because they use butter and eggs. Or wait, do they use eggs? Probably. They probably use eggs, but those aren't not vegetarian. So I don't know. It also says pizza as long as it doesn't contain sausage, which is weird because I think pepperoni and bacon are much more common. I am realizing though that pepperoni, sausage, and bacon all come from pigs, so maybe they were just using that as an umbrella term. It also says to shop at a farmer's market, share the veggie wealth by bringing vegetables to work to share with your office mates or your classroom. It says that if you don't want to put in any extra effort, buy a ready-made veggie tray. Everybody loves veggie trays, even the most avid meat eaters, which I don't know if that's true, and I think I know what company wrote this article. Gotta sell those veggie trays. It also says to try the meatless option at a restaurant, which I would actually recommend because then you get to try something new, a new dish, and maybe it is good. Maybe it'll be more delicious than that steak. This is true. We have Chinese National Day, which is an annual public holiday celebrated in the People's Republic of China that marks the end of dynastic rule and the march towards democracy. This includes the beginning of the Wu Chang Uprising, the end of the Qing Dynasty, and the People's Republic of China being founded with a ceremony taking place at Tiananmen Square, celebrating the forming of the Central People's Government. We then have the International Day of Older Persons, which is, I think, a weird way to phrase that, but I guess International Older Persons Day. I don't know. It's all around the world, though. The UN seeks to promote the full and equal enjoyment of all human rights and fundamental freedoms by older people. According to the United Nations, the international community started to highlight the situation of older persons by adopting the World Assembly on Aging. This is also the beginning of National Active Aging Week, which is, just a thing to kind of note the fact of getting older and also trying to not forget or ignore the older people in your life. So when was the last time you called your grandma back? You should do that. Get on it now. Just pause the podcast, go do that, and then come back. It'll also count as a second view, I think, so that's pretty cool for me. And if you don't want to participate in that one, well, then I have, hopefully, the national holiday for you, World Smile Day. I hope that people can smile today. Of all of these different ones, I think this is, hopefully this should be the easiest to partake in. As I am not Chinese nor a vegetarian, this is definitely easier than those. However, I do feel like I am old sometimes because of the state of my back. This site says that the creation of the smiley face came around in 1963 by a commercial artist named Harvey Ball, but if you've seen the movie Forrest Gump, then you know that it is actually the mud on Forrest Gump's face that creates the smiley face. So, this site does not know what it's talking about. We are now finally at probably the reason why you clicked on this podcast, which was for the very cute and adorable little puppy that was in the thumbnail. There are two specific dogs that we are talking about today, so I wrote a quick haiku about that. All dogs go to heaven, or so the movies say, but here on NHP, only two will be mentioned today, and I just realized that that's not a haiku. I accidentally wrote the word haiku above the poem. but I just went for a normal AB rhyme stance. I'll come back with a haiku later about dogs. So first off, we have National Black Dog Day, which is celebrated each year on October 1st to seek change in the fact that apparently some people think that black dogs are bad omens and harbingers of rotten luck, which I've never heard of. I know black cats have a lot of superstition around them. I've never really heard that for dogs, but apparently there are a lot of dogs that languish in shelters because people are hesitant to adopt them. However, that is not the case for my family, as the picture in the thumbnail was my sister's dog, Stark, back when he was a puppy a couple years ago. I don't know when his birthday was. We can pretend it was October 1st, just because, wow, that's cool. What a convenient circumstance that would be. He is very cute. He is quite a large dog now and weighs probably about the same as me. I'm not usually someone for large dogs, but he's pretty chill, and I like that. So secondly, we have National Fire Pup Day, which is to bring everyone's attention to all the different types of dogs that help in fire, search, and rescue. People commonly just think of Dalmatians, as these became popular quote-unquote carriage dogs. Wealthy noblemen used so-called carriage or coach dogs to protect themselves and their possessions during long treks through bandit-infested territories. And then carriage dogs became fire pups when fire departments began utilizing horse-drawn carriages. So that's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever really thought of fire trucks existing before fire trucks and the fact that they would have had to be in carriages, but I like that. And then in the 2000s, fire pups have begun to become mascots. So coming down to our final two, we have National Hair Day. So if you have hair, celebrate that. This last sentence here says, on National Hair Day, work that hair, girlfriend. So there you go. So color your hair purple with polka dots, braid it. Wait, polka dots? Can you polka dot hair? The first picture on Google is someone's tutorial on how to make your hair look like funfetti cake, and it has the little Pillsbury Doughboy on it. But ultimately the answer is yes. Yes, indeed, you can polka dot your hair. So hair gel has been used since way back in ancient Egypt. The bob was all the rage in the 1920s. 1930s, we had the perm. And then in the 2000s, the wave sweeps the world, which is a great little play on words there. I very much enjoyed that. And now for my final poem for the day, my haiku, as promised. A poem of dogs is what you thought I would make, but alas, raccoons. So there you have it. That is our final day of the day. It's International Raccoon Appreciation Day. So make sure you think about raccoons and learn about raccoons and talk about raccoons. Sorry to all you dog lovers who wanted me to make another poem about dogs, because the cute little raccoons on this page, they got me. And they can also be pets. So I don't imagine that there's many at animal shelters that need to be adopted. They would sooner be found in the trash bins out back. But, you know, that's just how they be. So now on to Celeb Birthdays. Once again, the first three people here are not people that I actually know. Number one is Anaya Rice, who's turning 19. She is an Instagram dancing personality. Then we have Luna Blaze, 19, TV actress, who's best known for playing Olive Stone in the show Manifest. She's also appeared in the show Fresh Off the Boat and movies such as Memoria and Concrete Kids. I have not heard of any of them, but I imagine some of you had, or else she would not be number two. Number three, we have FGTV Chase. So I guess it's someone named Chase from this. They are turning 9. They are a YouTube star. Yeah, he's apparently 9 years old and has 19.6 million subscribers. So I don't know if the channel is just him. I skipped through a video on it, the channel though, called Scary Teacher Almost Shot Me There. She's a pain in the axe. And then it says, Chad Wild Clay Sucks, in like weird upside down letters. I don't know how they got that in the title, but anyway. Yeah, the whole video is just this kid and who I presume to be his dad, playing a game with a bunch of edited in loud sounds. Also, in trying to watch the video, every time I moved forward a few seconds, another ad started, so I gave up on that pretty quick. I did give this video one more view, though, upon the 5,761,725 that it already had. So, you know, I'm really helping this kid out. They also have a video called Goozy Thick Mods, One Too Many Butts Stuck. And apparently the 9-year-old kid recognizes Rick from Rick and Morty, which is kind of alarming for a 9-year-old. I do know number 4, though, which is Brie Larson, turning 31. She played Captain Marvel in 2019's Captain Marvel and was also in Endgame, and may or may not be in an after-credit scene of another Marvel movie. I don't know if it's a spoiler to say that on here, because I also can't state how recent the movie was, or else that would also spoil which one it was. So it's just a post-Endgame movie, which there aren't many of at the moment, but there are a few. Fun fact, back when the Captain Marvel trailers dropped and people were talking about it, I didn't know who Brie Larson was or Jude Law, so with that and the fact that I didn't have the vastest of knowledge when it comes to Marvel Comics, I kind of assumed Brie and Jude were the characters' names, not the actress and actors' names. So yeah, that is a fun fact for the day for you. Now on to the most definitely scripted part of this podcast, where I go and look at random stuff on Wikipedia for October 1st. It's scripted because it turns out that a lot of the things on here are just really sad and involve a lot of people dying. So it might also be very quick to be removed from the podcast. We'll see. I might get some good use out of it. Like, for example, on October 1st, 1971, Walt Disney World opened near Orlando, Florida. So that's pretty cool. And in 1989, Denmark introduced the world's first legal same-sex registered partnerships. So that's even cooler. 1671 for the random birth of the day, because I did that yesterday, so I guess I'm going to make that a thing. Luigi Guido Grandi, an Italian monk, mathematician, and engineer. He died in 1742. I don't really know anything else about him because I didn't click any links, but there you go. Good old Luigi Guido Grandi. Also, as a special little thing for today, there's apparently a movie called October 1st, which the Wikipedia article reads that it is a 2014 Nigerian dark psychological thriller film written by Tunde Babalola, produced and directed by Kunle Afolayan. It stars Sadiq Daba. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop before I offend somebody because I don't know how to pronounce these names. The film is set in colonial Nigeria, narrates the story of Danladi Watsiri, a police officer from northern Nigeria who is posted to a remote town of Akode in western Nigeria to investigate the frequent female murder cases in the community and have the mystery solved before the Nigerian flag is raised on October 1st, Nigeria's Independence Day. Wow. What a thriller. I might actually watch this movie and get back to you guys. It is in English, so, or that's one of the 4 languages it's in, so that might just be translated into that. It's from 2014, so that's relatively recent. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to look up what it's rated. So on IMDb, it has a 6.6 out of 10. Letterboxd, it has 3.2 out of 5. And RYM, don't actually know what that is. It has a 2.2 out of 5. But 91% of Google users like the film. So that's good news, because that means that people who just watch movies like the movies, and people who critique movies were like, it's okay. So I might watch that and get back to you about it next year on October 1st. Ooh, that gives me some time to watch it because I probably won't be watching it before recording the next podcast. But yeah, we actually almost made it to the 20-minute mark, but I actually have to go, so I think I'm going to end it here. I don't really know what else I'd have to talk about anyway. So, as always, stay safe, stay smiling, and you'll be hearing from me tomorrow.